Let's talk all things Lockie Galvin because this has certainly been the hottest topic this week in the game. Obviously, a lot has come out of it. There's a huge circus that has now sort of gone on for the last few days around his decision to leave the Tigers. What have you made of the whole scenario?
I don't mind him leaving. It's just part of the game that players move on. What I hate is the narrative that he's moving on and they've bagged Benji. It is disgusting the way they've tried to push that out, that to further Lachlan's career, he's been a pawn in all this, I have no doubt. And if for a 19-year-old young man, I'm going to say kid or boy, he doesn't need this pressure because it wouldn't be Benji. Benji's played over 300 games, NRL, 340 odd I think. He's won a World Cup, he's won a Golden Boot, he's played over 30 odd tests for the Kiwis. If anyone is qualified to coach a young 5'8" or half, it's Benji. Alongside of him is a bloke called Jerome Luai, who's done it at all levels. Won comps, origins, played for Samoa. So I find it really disrespectful the way they've tried to attack Benji, saying it's because of Benji that Lachlan's leaving.
It's hard to criticise his coaching. I think at the moment they're the 4th or 5th best defence. If anything, you know, his coaching, well, the best example of that is your defence and how well you defend your line. And I've got to say they're doing a brilliant job. They haven't won every game, but the ones they haven't won, they've been pretty close. So to come out and criticise Benji's coaching is quite ridiculous. I don't quite understand why the Tigers, given I'm assuming they must have known something like this was on the cards, why they would want to, you know, go down the path of trying to re-sign him at the moment.
But they wanted to upgrade him. They wanted to say, well, here's some more money, but we're going to extend it, which I totally understand. At the moment, with what's going on with halfbacks or halves, playmakers, because they wanted to be fair and say, we're going to upgrade you for next year, but then what we're going to do is extend you for another 5 years.
But it is quite early in the piece to be having that conversation.
I'd be doing
you don't
it.
think so?
If I had,
Mate,
if I had Galvin, if I
I'd only be doing it if I knew he was going to say yes.
If I had Isaiah Katoa.
Because this is the thing; it's now caused such a big drama. But I think probably the thing. Well, yeah, you look at the offer was huge, but the thing that's come out in the days after this whole decision was the reaction of the playing group, which I don't know about you. I would love to know your opinion on it, but I find some of it quite disturbing. The players taking to social media, and granted, I totally understand that Tigers players will be so disappointed with this decision, they'd be fed up with it. But for someone like Jerome Luai, who I have all the respect for in the world, to take to social media and put it out there in
they
public.
Communicate these days on
but then you see
media.
also Sunia Taruva, he took a photo of Lachlan Galvin's locker with...
I think if you ask them, they'd probably like to take that back because they left Penrith to go to the Tigers. So it is hypocritical. But social media, that's how they sort of communicate these days.
At the moment, you've got to say, it sort of says a lot about the club, I suppose, and what's going on with Lockie. I don't think you'd see this at Melbourne or some of the bigger clubs. You know, I think over talking at the moment, I think it's a really good opportunity at the moment just to say nothing and go and play footy. I find it quite disgusting what they're all doing on social media. How, yeah, it's terrible. Even Lockie coming out and explaining his situation about development, I don't like that either. Mate, just go away. Just, you know, if you've made your decision, that's fine. We respect your decision. You don't need to come out on social media and you know, and promote how you're thinking.
You don't mind that he's moved on?
No.
I got no problem with him moving on. It's just the narrative which has been pushed. I find it disrespectful. And you know what? And now it's starting to go the other way. It's just, it's awful.
Yeah.
You know what? We need to stop this. This year we've had the Dylan Brown circus. We've had the DCE circus. Now we've got the Lockie Galvin. How is this happening?
Well, I think I read Clint Newne came out today and just spoke about how, you know, he doesn't agree with the fact that a transfer window would make anything better. So at the moment, the players are quite happy with the system that it is because it allows them.
I wonder what the fans think.
Well, the fans...
Imagine the Tigers fans. We know where the Tigers have been the last, 10 years? Finally, they get some hope. They've won 3 from 6 and they look a genuine semi-final prospect. And now this has happened? It's just... I feel for the fans. I feel really sad for the Tigers fans.
Well, it'll be interesting what happens because if you watched on the weekend, 4 tries were scored down the right-hand side, and that's down Lockie's side. It was with Drew Buller as well, and they were all just attacking the game because obviously Newcastle weren't. The only try that was scored on the left-hand side came from an error from Newcastle where they dropped the ball. Jerome picked it up and they threw it and they hit the winger.
And Dewey scored.
So Dewey scored in the corner. So what you're going to do now is actually change the whole dynamics of what they're doing. This is going to cost the Tigers.
Well, then that's the other thing, because obviously Benji's made that decision. By all reports, the senior playing group came into Benji and requested that Lockie Galvin not be in the team for this week. Do you think that is... Because there's obviously 2 trains of thought here, whether you should just have the best players on the team to get the result that you're after, or do you agree with the fact that, you know, there's stuff that happens behind the scenes and someone can get dropped?
I think it's smart to maybe protect him for a couple of weeks. But moving forward, do you develop what's the young guy Finu?
Latu
Finu, but he's injured at the moment.
He's injured at the moment. But then Dewey goes, well, he's named a halfback. Jerome would be a halfback. Whether they want to develop, because they know whenever it is, it might be a month, he mightn't be there. I don't know if it continue. I don't think it can go on for 18 months. Well, I think something will happen in the next few weeks.
But the fact Lockie came out and said that I want to get developed in another place, then
it's untenable.
I think the relationship between the player and the coach just it doesn't fit. So the problem is though, Lockie's been paid most of his money. He'd only have, let's say, I don't know, $100,000 possibly to go to finalise his contract. The thing with the Tigers is, so it's not the money; it's you lose a player though.
It's a top 30 spot.
You lose a top 30 spot.
They'll exchange. They'll swap a player.
Well, but it's all got to fit in with his salary cap, and you know, there's a lot.
So could you see him maybe potentially doing a player swap to another club for say 12 months or so? Maybe maybe even longer. Where do you see him? Parramatta.
Long term.
Long term.
Yep.
Freddie.
Oh well, they just lost their. They're going 5'8".
Yeah.
I'm assuming they've got a bit of money there, so be interesting what sort of money he demands at the moment.
Well, Dylan Brown, what he's on.
But he's not going to give him 1.3 million.
He'll get over $1 million for sure.
Well, not in but
what the Tigers offered?
He will get over $1 million without a shadow of a doubt.
The Tigers offered him 900. I think.
So it was
they
close
offered him
to
$6 million over 5 years.
Close to $6 million. It would have been an upgrade in his contract next year, but then it was sort of. I think it was just over $1 million.
Right.
He'll get over $1 million for sure. If he goes to Parramatta, which I think he will, well, Dylan Brown was on around $1 million. He'll get that money.
Well, the other thing as well, obviously, he's 19 years of age, so we do hope that someone's also looking out for Lockie Galvin's welfare at the moment, because I can imagine it probably would be a tough time for him, tough time for Tigers fans as well.